So, welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom, and I was supposed to try out my new Recce army. So, background for those who haven't seen the first video I posted about this. I fairly new into bolt action, and I decided that I was going to try out doing some competitions, just friendly ones more than anything else. So my first one is coming up in May, and I thought, well, I need to start planning my army. I wanted it to be historically themed. I wanted it to be competitive but not cheesy. As I understand it, the competition I'm doing is just a friendly one being run by one of our local clubs, and as I understand it, it is just a friendly club game, you know, nothing particularly serious about it. It's 1,000-point armies, maximum of 14 order dice, no special characters, only one reinforced platoon, but it can come from any list. And as I said in my first video, I decided I was going to do something a bit different. I was going to base it on a Recce formation. So the idea is it's 1944. It's part of the, I think it's the 92nd Panzergrenadiers, their Recce formation. That's basically is the one successful formation. It's part of the one successful Panzer formations that drives its way back towards the beach as a counter-attack, and it sort of gets to the beach just around Juno Beach, and then it's completely annihilated. But it's the one successful Panzergrenadier formation that gets close to counter-attacking. So I thought, well, that'd be quite a fun theme to build it on. So it's late war, means that there's a bit of flexibility in what you take. I also am an avid World of Tanks player, the online computer game, multiplayer game, and in World of Tanks there's a lot of love for the looks, the Panzer II looks, which was a Recce tank late war for the Germans. So I thought, well, there we go, there's my Panzer, there's my Recce force. Build it around the looks, build it as a Recce formation. So I formed the first one, which you can see the video on, it's on the channel. I think it was the first video I put up. I tried it out against Jonathan up at our Farnborough Wargaming Club, and I won. I did try and video it, but unfortunately the footage was just terrible, so I didn't bother using it. But I did actually play, and it was a good game. It was a really good game. He was playing Americans, lots of veterans, had a jumbo tank as well, and I actually managed to beat him. It was no man's land was the scenario. However, I was a bit concerned about how brittle my strike force was. So if you look at that army lists, I had 2 5-man veteran grenadier formations armed with submachine guns that were supposed to rush forward in the small Hanemags, the SDKZ 250-1s, these things, little 5-man Hanemags, and the idea was they would rush forward, debust the grenadiers up close and personal, where the submachine guns will cause all kinds of mayhem. Being veteran, they had a little bit of a staying power. However, when I played against another veteran army, of course Jonathan's being American veterans, they were all veterans, and we played No Man's Land, and it was very much a static game, and it was harder for me to deploy these 5-man squads. So I thought, well, let me try something different. So I still like the idea of them being at the core, but by putting so many points in those 2 formations, I wasn't sure whether it worked out well. So this is my next iteration of the army, and I guess this is the same with everybody who plays bolt action or any other rule system, is you keep tinkering with your lists, right, until virtually the last minute. So this is my version 2, actually it's probably about version 102, but anyway, this is the version 2 that's actually going to see the field. Now, we were supposed to play, Jonathan and I were going to have a rematch last Friday. Unfortunately, the snow hit and the club was closed, and we didn't manage to get the game, so we're going to try and play it again this Friday. So Jonathan, if you're watching, don't look at the army. Actually, I don't mind. It's absolutely fine. So hopefully I'll be able to record it and show how it performs this time round. But let's go through it and the theory behind it. So, first of all, led by, let's get a bit closer, Donald Trump, driving Donald Trump, who is a second lieutenant armed with submachine gun, along with his attendant, the Bruiser, there. So that's my HQ. I then have this group here. This is a Heer Grenadier squad. Have an NCO with an assault rifle, an LMG, 6 men with rifles, including the loader of course, and 1 Panzerfaust. So that's my sort of holding force, if you like. Backing them up is this group here, this squad. This is a Strafe battalion. So those are regular. These are inexperienced. Sorry, still get my terminology wrong. They're led by an NCO with a rifle. They have an LMG, 8 men with rifles, and 1 Panzerfaust. So inexperienced, and the theory is that these two formations, the regulars and the irregulars, inexperienced, I keep saying irregulars, will be my holding force. With the help of with Donald Trump, the second lieutenant, he can bolster the inexperienced troops' morale, and they're a big enough squad, hopefully, that they can survive for a good while, backed up by an inexperienced mortar. I was always a bit worried about taking an inexperienced mortar with no inexperienced troops. Well, I had trucks that are inexperienced, but that's another story. But now I've got an inexperienced squad, I feel much more justified to take an inexperienced mortar, medium mortar. So those formations are designed to stay together. They've got 2 trucks transporting them, both of whom are inexperienced. And again, I think that's in keeping. 1944, late war, Germans were scratching together as many troops as they possibly could from whatever formations they could find them. They're not going to put the very best guys driving trucks. It's going to be whoever they can happen to find, even in recce formations. And remember, this isn't an SS formation. This is just a regular Weimar formation. So I think, well, so these trucks can hold 12 men. So there's an 8-man squad with a 3-man mortar. You've got 10-man squad plus the HQ in the other truck. So that, everything's mobile, and that's what I wanted for this army. Then I've retained one of the Grenadier formations, well, veteran formations, the strike guys. I've actually called them assault engineers because, don't know why, just did. Now, again, 5-man veteran, submachine gun armed, NCO and 4 men basically. They also have 1 Panzerfaust, and they are, as before, in the 250-1, the small Hanomag, which has a medium machine gun. So that's a pretty reasonable strike force. Now, what I have also done, and this is, I'm not sure whether this is really worthwhile or not, but the 250-1, I've actually made it veteran. Now, my theory is, that's where Jonathan, you need to stop listening, is that these guys are going to be my outflankers. So, being veteran, when you come on from the outflank, any troops are doing their morale at -1. Being that they will be in the half track, I want them, and they'll do their test to come on based on the half track, not the squad inside. So the veteran squad with a veteran half track means they're testing on a 10, down 1 because the outflank is 9. 9, you should come on, right? Should. Famous last words. So that's the theory with those fellas. Then, rather than having a second squad like that, I've changed. I've become a different Dom. And so I've gone for another squad, and that's because, as I say, I didn't feel in those sort of slugfest encounters that the 5-mans could really stand up. So I've gone back and built another Heer Grenadier formation. So this is it, 8 men. There's the NCO who has assault rifle, an LMG, 2 men with assault rifles, and the rest have rifles. So 5 men with rifles. and I think that's a nice force to hold up. Now I've compromised by putting them in what's this thing called, the Multia half-track truck. And I put a LMG, medium machine gun on this. Now the reason for putting them in this is that, being that it's tracked, or partially tracked, means that it can go through dense terrain, it can go through walls and things with ease, which a truck can't do. So these could be a bit more aggressive and hopefully link up with the Panzergrenadiers veteran, or the assault engineers who are in the half track. So that's the theory, is that these guys will hold, these guys will be more progressive, these guys will come in on the outflank. That's the theory. We'll see whether it works out. So that's the basis of my force. Now the other thing I've done is to go and get a anti-tank gun, really just to try it out more than anything else. So it's there's a couple of placeholders here because I don't have the right figures, so I will actually be taking a pack 38, which is the 50mm gun, 50mm anti-tank gun, with a 3-man crew, only regular, but that should be fine. It has a penetration of 5 and has a gun shield. It's also can do HE of 1. So my theory is that I haven't, apart from the Panzerfausts, and everything's got Panzerfausts, I haven't really got anything to take on anybody who comes with any decent armour. Say Jonathan last week had a jumbo, 2 weeks ago had a jumbo, and there was nothing I could do with it at all. I just had to avoid it. He kept away from my Panzerfausts, so I thought, well, maybe having some kind of anti-tank gun. Now it may be too static. That's what I want to try it out. I've heard a lot of people talk about anti-tank guns and whether they're worthwhile, or artillery generally, that, you know, maybe they just get caught and pummeled by things because they're so difficult to move. But I don't know, I'm going to give it a go. You can only try these things, right? He is transported by the Kettenrad, the half-track sort of bike thing. I don't have the model, so I'm just using a normal motorbike as his tow. So again, in theory, if the shit hits the fan and the artillery is being, the anti-tank being focused by a mortar, for instance, I can hook it up, drive it away. Bear in mind the theory of the army, this is all recce, so everything has to be mobile, because otherwise it's not a recce force, right? So it needs to have its transport. I know if I was being really gamey, I wouldn't worry about transport because I could push this onto the battlefield, but it's a historic army I'm trying to build. I'm not trying to be all cheesy on this thing. So the next thing in the army, talk about cheesy. Well, it's not really cheesy. Again, I can justify the picks. So next thing up is I've swapped out the armoured car, mainly because I ran out of points. I had an armoured car with a short 75 cannon on it, which was quite useful as an anti-infantry gun, but it basically, I don't know, felt, I don't know, maybe I'll go back to it, I don't know, but I wanted to try out this thing, the motorcycle sidecar unit. Now, I have this as a veteran, and actually, if you look at the points for that, what is it, 48 points for a veteran medium machine gun on a sidecar. It's got recce, so it means it can recce away from anybody that tries to cause it mayhem, and it's a very mobile platform. Can whiz around, what is it, what's the range of it? So basically 12 inches each time. If it's on a road, that's 24. If you want to run, you can do double that. So it's very, very nimble. Gets around the battlefields very quickly. Obviously it's got 6 shots because it's a German medium machine gun, and I just thought that would be really fun to try out. So it could even go on the outflank as well, supporting the Hanomag and the veteran assault engineers. So that's my next thing, and the final thing is the little old looks. Now I had so much fun with this thing, because I mean the other thing to say about these two, so this is basically my armour in this formation. The looks is only 115 points, the sidecar's only 48, so it's allowed me to spend points elsewhere on quite a lot of squads. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squads, 3 of them at really decent size and 1 veteran. And I actually found the looks really, really effective in the game we played. I mean, bear in mind I was fighting a whole load of veteran Americans who were largely in buildings. It was actually very good because it's got the armour that it can stand up to quite a lot of things. It's armour 8 plus. It has that turret-mounted turret-mounted light autocannon, which gives you 2 shots, which is actually really good. And it's got a coaxial medium machine gun of 6 shots. So you can lay down quite a lot of fire with these things. And that was what I found in the game we played. And if you get in too much trouble, you got Recce, and you can Recce away. So yeah, I just really enjoyed playing with the looks. So there you go. That's my version 2 of my 1944 92nd Panzergrenadier Recce formation. 14 order dice still, so that's good, which is right up to the maximum allowed. Everything's mobile, everything's mounted, so it should be able to get around the table very quickly. It's got HE with the mortar, and well, I mean the looks and the artillery and the tank destroyer, anti-tank gun can fire HE if need be. Got assault formation with the assault engineers, backed up by a decent sized Panzergrenadier formation. Lots of firepower in the squads, Panzerfaust squads. We shall see how it performs. Anti-tank gun, which may just get focused out of the game, but you know, if it's focusing on the anti-tank gun, then it's not focusing on other things. So anyway, we shall see how it works out. But this is my latest version. I hopefully will, if the weather improves by Friday, we'll have a game and try it out, and hopefully I'll be able to record that game and show you the results. But as for now, that's what it looks like. Any thoughts, any comments, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Remember, trying to keep it fairly authentic, so if you think it's too cheesy, then just let me know, because I don't think it is. So I was a bit worried about taking an inexperienced mortar with everything else being regular, but now I've got an inexperienced squad and 2 inexperienced trucks. I feel a bit more justified to take a mixture of veteran, regular and inexperienced. I think that's far more sustainable. Anyway, hope you found it interesting and useful. Comments, as I say, please in the comments down below. And in the meantime, just enjoy your games, have fun. Oh, did I say the half-track truck, the Mouther, has a medium machine gun? It has a medium machine gun, so that adds a bit more firepower. Anyway, enough from me. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. In the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun. Try not to take anything too seriously, just have a laugh. It's just a game after all. And I'll see you again soon. This is Gamer Dom, signing out.